All he said is you can't jack an old lady, spit on a cop, or slug a stranger where he's from. Doesn't fly. They're not going to let riots, looting, and violence slide in their hometown. It's a song about values that are in every small town in America. A huge part of the country relates to that on every level. But it got yanked off the airwaves. Country Music TV caved and canceled the country song. Paramount, a giant company in a big city, decided you're not allowed to hear about small town values. You're too violent and racist. Paramount's more upset about a song about deadly riots than the actual deadly riots. Riots that killed over 24 Americans and cost $2 billion in damage. The message of his music was anti-crime. And now he's canceled. But pro-crime music is everywhere.
So you know we hopped out, mobbed out, outside. We gon' show what we about. On my really game, talk that slang. Cause I called her out, now I got blood on blue Balenciagas. Up that 40, let that pistol single melody.
You can brag about committing crimes in music, but you can't say you'll stop crime. You can even pretend to shoot the president. The media doesn't care.
This the final call.
But you can't say don't slug an old lady in my small town. You can say carjack, but you can't say don't carjack. The media just confessed they're pro-riot. Well, depending on who's doing the rioting, if you know what I mean. The underlying threat here is that this is a small, well-funded mob trying to chip away at your values and right to self-defense. It's the same thing they did to Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha, the McCluskeys in St. Louis, and the Marine in the subway. Scare you out of defending your land, family, and property. And once you're scared, you're easier to control. And then it's open season on all of us.
So y'all want to cancel Jason Aldean for his lyrics? When the fuck we start canceling musicians for their lyrics? For 30 years, rappers been calling women bitches, hoes, sluts, slanging dope, fuck the police. When we start canceling musicians for their lyrics? Y'all people a fucking joke, man.
If you could do anything at all, Joe, what would you do? I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why, and we can. We'd end the cancer as we know it.
Hillary Clinton is attacking Republicans on Twitter again. Someone get her away from the phone. This time, she's blaming them for making it hot outside. Clinton's jab came as a response to a left-wing think tank's post about hot temperatures this summer. She tweeted, "Hot enough for you? Thank a MAGA Republican. Or better yet, vote them out of office." Lee, what is it about?
A 12-year-old boy attending middle school in Middleborough, Massachusetts, was sent home from school recently for wearing a T-shirt which teachers complained made some students feel unsafe. The shirt that Liam Morrison wore looked like this one, with 5 words, "There are only 2 genders." Liam recently told the school board that he refused to remove the shirt because he was only stating facts.
I have been told that my shirt was targeting a protected class. Who is this protected class? Are their feelings more important than my rights? I don't complain when I see pride flags and diversity posters hung throughout the school. Do you know why? Because others have a right to their beliefs just as I do. Even at 12 years old, I have my own political opinions, and I have a right to express those opinions. Even at school, this right is called the First Amendment to the Constitution. I feel like these adults were telling me that it wasn't okay for me to have an opposing view. Their arguments were weak, in my opinion. I didn't go to school that day to hurt feelings or cause trouble. I have learned a lot from this experience. I learned that a lot of other students share my view. I learned that adults don't always do the right thing or make the right decisions.
All right, that's all I wanted to play from her.
That's all you can
I'm sorry. I feel bad that she passed away. Sinead O'Connor is gone. Sad, I guess. But I mean, I hate to admit that I actually kind of liked that song. I thought it was catchy, I guess.
Well, she didn't write it, so why would you hate it? Prince wrote it.
There you go. But she was not an advocate for anything that I believe.
No, not at all.
So, sorry though.
And musically, bleh. I didn't name another song. That's what I thought.
Yeah, can't. Yeah. Also, yesterday, I didn't know if you heard this. There's so much I want to get into. We have Drowning Pool coming up in just a little bit. Tony Masaccio going to be joining us from somewhere. His quote to me today was, "Don't know where I'm going to be. I may end up at a convenience store." I said, "Okay."
Let me tell you guys about the great deals on Pepsi here at 7-Eleven.
Look at these hot dogs, how they keep spinning.
Yeah, look at these sandwiches. These are made fresh every day, guys.
Yesterday, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were at the Methane Summit.
Okay.
They hosted a Methane Summit. Tomorrow, he's going to give all kind of remarks based on what we should be doing ahead of climate change, and the seas are boiling and it's hot outside. Forget about the fact that it's the middle of summer, but it's hot outside, and so we have to change everything that we do. But I have actual audio. I don't know if you caught it earlier today of Joe Biden at the Methane Summit.
All right, let's see.
He didn't look like he felt well, but that was actual audio from the Methane Summit.
It was a better speech than he's made in years.
Yes, he ended cancer and is now kicking the methane problem
But
away.
now with him farting like that, wouldn't that be making the climate worse?
Yeah, but he did it in a box, so hence the echo and sound, so that way it didn't escape into the atmosphere.
I see.
So the Methane Summit went well, from what I'm hearing.
Oh, can't wait to hear the highlights from that.
I think he just did.
Oh, it probably was.
That was the highlights.
Yeah, because normally when I think of Joe Biden speeches, I think shit. So it's probably,
It's about the
right
same.
in there. Yep.
One quick announcement for next week.
Yes.
Robin Swoboda will be joining us on Wednesday.
Look at that.
Robin Swoboda will be joining us on Wednesday. Very excited to talk to her. She's a fantastic woman. One of the most beautiful people I've ever met inside and out. An icon here in Cleveland and just a great person. And I've been dying to check in with her. So I think we're going to do that on Wednesday right here.
That's cool. Is she promoting something, or is it just that you're friends with her and you just reached out and she's like, sure, I'll come on?
Yeah, she had filled in for Triv numerous times, and
Sure.
Her and I have talked numerous times, and I just think that she's a great person, and I think that she's got a lot of stories to tell. And no, she's not promoting anything other than being alive and hanging out with us. So.
See, and that's the best kind of guest, isn't it? Because it's just like, it's not like we have to be like, hey, Robin, glad you're here. And by the way, Robin's going to be at the state fair judging a win contest or something. We can just settle in and talk about her career and what she's doing now, and that'll be fun.
So I'm excited to talk to her.
Absolutely. Well, cool.
Double Standard Trash. Which one? I played a lot of videos. Great day for Guardians, 8th inning. We are up 8-2.
Who?
Playing Kansas City.
Who?
So everybody's watching the Guardians play, I guess, today.
Don't know who that is.
Oh, that's right. My YouTube app crashed. Maybe everybody else's did too.
Maybe that's why you should be on Rumble.
I'm back. Be on Rumble or go to thesethwilliamsshow.com.
Yeah, I put a big player. Speaking of that, if people go to thesethwilliamsshow.com, right at the top, I changed the website a little bit. I put a big giant player that you can leave comments on that'll get onto the air as well. So you no longer have to use YouTube. You could just go, whether you're on a computer or your phone, to thesethwilliamsshow.com. And you can be part of the show right there at the top of the screen.
I see all kind of cool things at the top of our screen. We're in like all the different places. I'm excited about Rumble. I did put up some new content on Odyssey as well.
I got to get on that too. I've got stuff too. I just haven't done it yet.
I put up a video from when I was 19 years old and met Howard Stern.
Nice. Very cool.
So you can see that if you are part of the Odyssey subscription plan.
Right.
I'm not watching the Guardians. Are pathetic, woke excuse for a baseball team.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. So I decided today I want to change my entire life.
Okay.
I was driving back. We had to go to Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. My wife needed a tire, and so we needed to go to Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. Great place. And Charlie,
Sure.
I'll tell you what, dude, nobody busts his ass like Charlie.
Nice.
We got there. It's 9 million degrees outside.
Right.
And he was in that shop, the door open to his garage, and there wasn't air pumping in there or anything. He was just busting his ass and sweating like crazy trying to get cars worked out today. And so I respect the hell out of people like that.
It's no wonder Lakewood wants to shut him down. You know, God forbid you let a hard worker work.
Right.
You know.
But so yeah, if you ever need something like mechanical, auto mechanic stuff, go to Charlie and Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood because he's working hard over there.
I actually do need to get my car worked on, and I will definitely take it over to Charlie.
Scott the Bod using the website.
Thank you, Scott. More people need to, because YouTube is just junk. But that's my personal crutch.
Are you only a fan if they constantly win? A fan sees truth no matter what. No, I mean, I think we'd more be fans if they didn't change the name and cave
Yeah.
the way that they did. But I still like them because I still like the people that work there, and I think the manager's pretty good. But anyways, I want to change my life. I decided today. So if you never see me again on this show, I apologize.
Uh-oh. Don't say
Because
that.
we were driving back from Charlie's Auto Repair at Lakewood, and I had to take the highway.
Okay.
And I saw what I want to be. This guy rolls up. Now, he was on a Harley. But it's
Okay.
a big chopper-looking Harley, dude. I mean, we're talking handlebars up top
Right.
like this. And, all right, he's got no shirt on. He's tan. He's got one hand on one handlebar. The other hand is on his hip.
Right.
He's got one leg on the bike. The other leg's not on the bike at all. He's kind of leaning to one side. He's got a gold big-ass chain around his neck. He's got long, flowing hair. He's got tattoos all over his entire body, his back and arms and everything. He's got his jeans on and his work boots, and he's just riding like a badass, dude. No helmet, no nothing. He was just riding like he didn't give a shit in the world about anything that was going on. And I was super excited. I decided that's the way I want to live my life.
Okay.
I mean, how cool was this guy, dude? Like, he was just literally hanging half off the damn bike, one leg just kind of hanging off into the wind, other hand not on the handlebars. He's got one hand up in the air, and he's just no shirt, tattoos, gold chains, and he's just loving life, man. That's
Right.
badass. He most likely just got out of prison. Was like, dude, I don't even care anymore. He's like, I don't even give a shit anymore about anything. I'm just gonna ride this Harley, and I'm gonna just go wherever the hell I want to go. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. Weaving in and out of traffic. And he's got the life. That's the kind of life that I want to lead. He's probably going across the country just like that. It's hot outside. He doesn't care. He's got no shirt on.
Yeah. Well, he's a bad.
I
If he's
do
riding
that.
if he's riding a motorcycle with no shirt, he's a badass.
I'm telling you. Now, if I do that, all you're going to see is horrific stuff, dude. I'm going to take my shirt off. There's going to be fat flying in the wind. There's going to be no tan, or at least a farmer's tan, because my arms are all white and pale and everything. I'm going to be driving around. I'm going to be clutching to the handlebars like a death grip because I'm terrified I'm going to fall over. I'm going to have one fake leg that's going to be just kind of hanging there. I guess that's kind of cool. But then there's nothing else cool about me.
Well, you say that, but dude, if you're riding a Harley with a fake leg, that's going to be beyond cool.
I think that'll be all right. But still, I mean, like, he had that swagger of like, yeah, dude, nobody's going to stop me from doing anything. I'm just going to do my deal. And whereas I'd be like, I'd have like 3 helmets on my head. You wouldn't even know who I am because I'd have 3 helmets trying to make sure I didn't die on the highway.
Have you ever had a motorcycle or no?
I have, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes, dude. You start off scared to death, but with each ride, you get more and more comfortable.
That's not exactly true with me.
Really?
So let me give you my motorcycle experience before we get into any topics of the day.
Yeah.
So I decided, yeah, dude, I got tattoos and stuff. I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to get a bike. So I decided I was going to get like a starter bike.
Sure.
Now, for me, I still needed a bigger bike because I'm a big dude. And I was actually a lot bigger back when I got the bike. And so I get this thing, and it was like $2,700 I paid for it. So it wasn't an expensive bike. But we get it into the truck thanks to I had a I had a pickup back in the day, and so the shop helped me get the bike into the back of the truck.
Right.
We get it home. This is my former wife and I, and realized that I have no way of getting it out of the truck
All right.
because I don't have like a ramp. So then I said, all right, there's a wooden door in the garage. I'm going to take that. I'll put it up against the truck. I'll just wheel it back and we'll be
Oh,
good.
boy.
But halfway down, the door breaks in half.
Right.
Bike
Boom.
goes down, spinning all over the place. I start leaking some sort of green fluid all over me. I'm laying on the ground holding the bike. I have no idea what the hell to do. And so I broke the bike as soon as I got it home, had to get it fixed.
Oh, man.
But then I finally get it fixed, and I'm like talking on the air about how I got a bike and I don't know how to ride it. Never ridden a bike before. And so some dude who listened to me back in the day decides, hey, I'll teach you how to ride a bike. So he took me to the zoo parking lot down the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo when it was empty.
Yeah.
And taught me how to drive a little bit. So I was all right. I was all right riding this bike in the zoo parking lot. So then the following week, MMS decides, hey, this is going to be a good idea. You know how to ride a bike, right? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm a professional at riding in the zoo parking lot.
Right.
So they asked me to host a March of Dimes ride. Now, this March of Dimes ride goes from like the Harley Davidson and Aurora or whatever, all the way through like Bedford Metro Parks and all these different places. And dude, we're talking about a long ride.
Sure.
And I'm going to be at the head of it with like 100 bikers or more behind me. And yeah, I've ridden only in a zoo parking lot.
Plus, you're not licensed.
No, I got no license. I got nothing. I have like, I bought a helmet with flames on it because I thought it'd be cool. And I'm wearing a jersey with my name, like a brown jersey with my name on the back of it.
Right.
So, and I got my sunglasses because nothing gets in my eyes, whatever. And so I get to this damn thing. Somehow I rode the bike to the shop, which is great. But then we get there, and I'm looking at all these bikes behind me. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm a dead man. But I'm like, I got to do this. I got my confidence going. I got my little flame hat on. And we roll on out of this thing. And we get down into, like, where I have to turn into these metro parks.
Right.
Well, I realized as I'm turning into these metro parks, it wasn't that far from the shop, that I'm sitting on my sunglasses. So now I have bugs and bees and all kind of shit just flying into my face. My eyes have got dust in it and all kind of crap. But I'm managing my way through these metro parks with these windy ass roads. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. But
let me stop you just for a second,
Yeah.
dude, because you're not explaining it so that people fully understand this part.
Yeah.
When you get hit in the head by a bug,
it hurts.
It feels like you got hit in the head by the rock.
I might as well have been shot in the head. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. It absolutely feels, it does feel like rocks hitting you.
So I made it through the metro parks. I see the traffic light to get out of the metro parks. Now I'm going to be on city streets, going straight for a lot of times. I'm going to be all right. I'm proud as hell that I made it through these windy roads. As I'm taking the turn to get out of the metro parks, I wipe out the bike, dude. I don't make the turn properly. I go straight up onto the curb. The front end lifts up. I fly backwards, and I end up on the ground. I got half the bike again on top of me.
Right.
And all 100 and whatever bikes that were behind me passed me. People are yelling shit out to me. You suck. You're a loser.
Yeah.
Nobody actually stopped to help me get up.
No.
They just passed me on by.
They just passed you and were like, oh, look at that amateur.
By the time I get up and I'm like dusting the blood off of me, I lose the pack.
Right.
Now I'm stuck at a light. Pack of bikes is gone because I've been struggling to get myself up off the ground and like, again, cleaned up a little bit. Pack of bike is gone. I have no idea how to get back to where I'm going. I end up being the last bike to pull into the shop after the bike run had happened. And I was the first one. I was the lead guy of this pack and ended up being the last. And after that, I sold my bike, never rode it again.
That's funny.
And that was the last I've ridden a motorcycle. And I wish I had like a really cool bike. I really do. But I just wasn't that guy, I guess.
You know what? I wish, in a way, I wish I still had my bike. But in the same way, I don't pay enough attention. I would die on it. You know, as I've gotten older, I pay way more attention to what song is playing on the radio than I do to driving or riding. And I know me, by this point now, I would have bought one of those. I forget what those are called, the big ones, the Gold Wings or whatever with the
Oh, yeah.
with the big blaring radio and stuff. I know that would be me, and I'd be paying no attention, and I would just crash. But, dude, I used to, when I lived in California, when I got out of the military, my now ex, she still had about a year left in the military. So we stayed out in California, and I got a job at a law firm. And I used to ride the motorcycle because back then we had no money. You know, at that point, all we had was my job at the law firm, which made pennies, and her military money, which made even less pennies. So I used to ride the motorcycle instead of driving a car to work, and I was stationed at Fort Ord, and the job was in Monterey. So it's about 15 miles, right?
Yeah.
But it was all right next to the beach. So, man, you would be riding, I'd be riding along, going in on the highway, and then all of a sudden the wind would blow, and I would just get sandblasted from the sand blowing off of the beach. And I mean, it was, and this is, you know, I'm wearing the leather and the gloves and the hat and the helmet and everything, and still was getting sandblasted. I was literally, a lot of times I was scared to death that I was going to crash and die.
Right.
So, you know, you're going 60 miles an hour on a curve, and all of a sudden you get hit with sand.
Yeah.
Just whoosh, a bag of sand hitting you in the face. It's like, whoa. You know?
I was not a good rider. I would love a bike now because I think, you know, with the left leg being the only leg that I can really use.
Yeah.
You know, the shifting and everything is on the left side. So I could actually ride a bike probably better now than I could back in the day.
The shifting isn't on the left side.
The pedal shifting is, yeah.
No, it's on the right.
No.
What
The bike that I had.
It depends on the bike you have, because I know on mine it was on the right side.
All right, I don't even know why we're talking, to be honest with you. We might as well just stop because, I mean, we got this going on over here. Guardians win 8-3. Great job, Guardians. Then we got this. Who got the W? Gunner. Guardians got the win. No, which pitcher? Sorry, Gunner. You probably meant who won the race. So, like, people are talking about the Guardians and completely ignoring everything that we've said for the past 20 minutes. So,
yeah, I was going to say, I cannot offer anything on the Guardians because I know nothing about what they've done this year at all. I know I saw that Shane Bieber's like on the 60-day
he's
disabled list or whatever. Or we're not allowed to call it the disabled list anymore. The IL. The injured list, because God forbid somebody that's disabled might be upset by saying the disabled list.
Here's what we do know.
If you could do anything at all, Joe, what would you do? I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why, and we can. We end the cancer as we know it.
Cancer as we know it.
Well, thank God he solved that problem.
And again, we have audio from the methane summit yesterday. I want to know who recorded that.
I think both speeches were the same.
That was Kamala. Yes.
Yeah, this guy, he is a disaster, isn't he? Jesus.
There are automatic bikes, right?
I think there are now, yeah.
Look, all I know is that when I rode a bike, I had like the I don't know what you call it, whatever the shifting thing.
Shifter,
was on the left side on my foot.
Because on my bike, it was always the brake, the back brake thing was on the left, and then the shifting, like, because I used to have to hook my right leg underneath it to shift up, and then.
Because all my brakes and everything were on the hands.
Yeah, the brakes are definitely on the hands, but there's a back brake that you can hit on.
I don't know. I didn't ride it long enough to actually figure out what I'm supposed to do. Other than I was able to shift them.
You had one of those Japanese bikes, didn't you?
I had a Kawasaki.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a crotch rocket thing. It was a.
It was like a rider. Yeah. I had one too. I had a Kawasaki 550 at one point.
Again, I just wanted a starter bike, something to get me used to.
Sure.
Actually, driving something.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing. I know this is going to be sacrilege, but never been a big fan of the Harleys. I think they look great. But have you ever ridden one, like actually taken one out and ridden it? That's a tough ride. There are way more comfortable rides than a Harley.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Softail is just not. I mean, that's what I had was a Softail, and
I've always wanted like a chopper custom kind of bike.
with the apes, the ape.
Yeah, something like that, or like something like just with like a badass tank and cool shit all over it and stuff, and
Right.
like a nice paint job. But now I've moved on from that because I realized that actually now with the leg, I probably have a better shot at running a bike than I do like a real car. So I think because I've always wanted a custom car, like a really cool
Right.
custom.
Why do I have a feeling that if you got a bike now, you'd get a sidecar and Heather'd be riding the bike?
That's probably true. Probably accurate.
That would be funny. Be funny pictures of you just riding like Colonel Klink in the sidecar.
Now, see, my problem is that what I really want
Yeah.
is a trike
Oh yeah.
because like the front and then the two wheels in the back, or even the two wheels in the front and one in the back, whatever's easiest for me to ride. But then Heather makes fun of me all the time. Like, I don't know if I'd be like a real man if I'm on one of those kind of bikes. I see men on the bikes all the time, but is it cool to get one of those?
I don't know. You watch Sons of Anarchy? Yes, no?
I did. Yeah.
Do you want to be Piney or do you want to be Jax?
I know. I understand what you're saying, but
I always thought Piney's bike looked pretty weak for a guy that was first 9.
I'm getting older now, so now it's kind of like I got to think about safety,
Yeah.
and I mean, I can't afford to lose another leg,
Well, yeah. That's why you just stay in the minivan.
and so I'm thinking maybe a trike would be a tad bit more. I'm not driving a minivan yet.
Yet.
I mean,
Well, if
like,
you were going to be in a minivan, you'd already be in it because your daughter's past the age of needing a minivan.
yeah, it really I'm getting kind of sad and disgusted right now because I'm sitting here talking about like I can't ride a bike. I'm getting old. I need a trike to take me around. You're telling me I should be in a minivan, and I'm about to talk to drowning pool.
It's funny. It's too good. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, it sucks getting older, man. It really does. It sucks getting older. Having to face the little stupid things of, maybe I don't see quite as well as I used to see. Maybe I'm not as fast reacting as I used to be,
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what. Like yesterday, I was at the radio station, WHK, because that's where I do my side job now. Shouldn't say that's my second job. This is job 1, and then second job. But I love it there, and people have been very cool, and very nice.
Sure.
But speaking of getting old, yesterday I'm sitting there, I'm doing traffic and weather every 15 minutes or whatever, and it's kind of stressful because literally during the afternoon show you got to do it. You're always recording something,
Right.
and so I'm looking at this screen on the computer, and I'm trying to like edit all the sound and stuff, and I'm realizing that, dude, yes, I am old, and like I'm sitting there going, I left my glasses at the house. I can barely see what the hell is going on the screen. I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to brighten this screen? Looking for any kind of settings that there are to brighten the screen. I can't find anything.
Right.
So I'm like squinting to see what the hell I'm doing, and it really is annoying. You're right. Getting old does kind of blow.
Dude, and when you have to make adjustments, it just makes you hate yourself. It's like I'm sitting the Mac that I do the show on here. It's one of the big giant Macs, with the big 36-inch screen or whatever. This screen, it's this big. Well, I guess that doesn't show anything, but it's giant. It's as big as a TV set, right? And about 6 months ago, I had to, for the first time ever, I had to find the setting to make the text bigger. Because I used to, I always kept it at the smallest thing. And, I do like a split screen thing where I have like the StreamYard on one side and then questions or comments or whatever on the other side. And then it just got to be where I was doing some interview or something. And I was looking for an idea and I couldn't read it. I was like, I didn't have my glasses in here, which I never do. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. So I'm like, put it up to like 110%. I figured it out. And then I go to 110%. And I still couldn't read it. Then I went to 120%, and I still couldn't read it. And I went to 130, and then I could read it, and I was like, oh, what happened to me? You know, it sucks.
Is there a way to brighten the screen?
Yeah.
It can't be that dark because I'm sitting staring at it going, all right. I mean, there might have been some sun glare going on, but I don't think they're that bad yet. Where I need can't.
No, you can brighten your screen in the set. We'll figure that out after the show. How's that? So I don't think people want to listen to us going, okay, click settings. Okay, click monitor. You know. But yeah, you definitely can.
But yeah, I do notice like little things. But but my problem is like I get joint pain a lot, but like my knees hurt. But that's because I have one leg that isn't like real. Like it's different.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it's look. People just in general don't accept getting older. Yeah, me and my brother, we talk constantly about my mom. And you met my mom. My mom's great.
Awesome.
But my mom will not admit that she's getting old. And my mom's 75.
Yes.
She's 75 years old. So she's not young, she's not dead, but she's definitely old, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like she'll call me and she'll be like, "Oh, my back hurts so bad." And I'm like, "Oh, what happened?" And she'll be like, "Well, I was outside moving tree branches or cutting wood or what." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You're 75 years old." "Well, it's just a little." And I'm like, "Mom, me or Jason will pay somebody to do that. You don't need to be out there cutting grass or pulling weeds or, you're too old for that shit. If you fall down, there's nobody there." It's like,
right.
And that's how many years, think about this in your own life. How many years did we make fun of the lady, "I've fallen and I can't get up"?
Yeah, right.
How many years was that a joke to where now it's actually a thought of, man, I wouldn't mind having one of those just in case.
Yeah. I think about it all the time when I go up and down these stairs here.
Yeah.
I think my real problem is that my brain hasn't gotten old.
Sure, same here. Yeah.
Like I still think and act for the most part like I'm still 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, somewhere along the way my brain growth stopped, but the body growth didn't.
Yeah, and that's what usually happens with guys, really. What would you rather be? No, I'm not saying that either. No. It's okay to say that it sucks, but it's the way it is, isn't it? It's just the way it is, I don't ever remember anybody saying, what's been the best part of my life? Getting old. I don't think anybody's ever said that, have they?
Well, there is a certain point where you kind of want to stop, though.
Yeah, well, but that goes into the whole facing your own mortality too. It's, the older you get, once things, it's kind of like all of us have had a car that we kept a little too long, right?
Yeah.
Or a lot too long.
Yeah.
But at least a little too long. And when you kept that car a little too long, things started to go bad on it. First it was the rotors, then it was the axle was bent, then it was the engine doesn't run quite right anymore, or it doesn't start, it doesn't have as much acceleration or whatever. And that's the only thing that you equate to your life. As you're getting older, you're seeing yourself becoming that car that just held on a little too long.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't just go buy a new one.
No, well, that is the problem.
Sucks.
Yeah. But at the same time, none of us do the maintenance that we're supposed to do on the car that is our bodies either. Let's be honest. None of us are working out 2 hours a day and getting our 20,000 steps in.
Yeah, but I've seen people like that drop dead too, out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's it. And dude, you've seen cars that are well maintained that get up in the junkyard.
I've seen guys that literally have smoked 2 packs a day for like 50 years of their lives, live to be 90.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people that smoke never in their lives, and they drop dead at 35.
Yeah,
you don't know.
You see Sinead O'Connor today. She's 56 years old, probably weighed 110 pounds. Dead.
Yeah, dead.
So
and she was a well, I don't want to say the word because then we'll get banned everywhere. But she believed in certain things that I didn't take.
She was a booster, as we'll call her.
There you go. I mean, shit, you saw LeBron James' kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bronny.
Yeah, which... Ugh.
Had cardiac arrest, 18 years old.
Yeah, well, and he was quintuple
Booster-ed.
vaxxed.
He was booster-ed.
Yeah, he was boosted up to the full... I mean, because wasn't LeBron like one of the big ones on...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, didn't he say at some point that he didn't even want fans back if they weren't going to get their shots?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like way involved, and now look at it. And again, we don't know that one's the other, and certainly even if it is, they're never going to tell us that.
No, they would never say anything.
They're never going to tell us the truth that that's what happened. I mean, because 18-year-olds have heart attacks pretty regularly, especially super athletes. Yeah.
Trained, like, who have a dad who's like Godzilla, dude. Like, a superior athlete. And I'm sure that he kept his kids well-trained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that kid doesn't run around eating a lot of gummy bears and pizza either. I'm sure everything that's gone into that kid's mouth since he was like 2 years old has been, approved by some nutritionist or something to maximize his earning potential in the NBA.
Yeah, man, that whole thing irritates the hell out of me. I just saw a video because I scroll through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I just saw a video from back when Jimmy Kimmel made the comment of, well, we should just start doing this. People that show up to a hospital, if you have a heart attack and you show up to the hospital and you've been vaxxed, come on in. And if you haven't, see ya.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way people were treated. And now we're going to get banned again.
Whatever.
But
that's why we have Rumble. That's why we have that's why we have the website, and that's why we have Rumble.
Go to thesethwilliamshow.com. Thesethwilliamshow.com. You can leave all your comments there.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, dude, and I agree with it fully, man. And it's a sad state of affairs. This banning, I guess we'll call it, of ideas that don't play into the narrative.
It's all social media. But
I mean, throughout our lives, we've always had people that said crazy shit.
Yeah.
Always. And the difference is now for some reason, and this I don't even know, and I can't even blame social media for it. I just have to blame people for being lazy. We allow crazy ideas to not be challenged in our own heads. We just hear a crazy idea, and people are like, well, I heard it on YouTube. It must be true. And that's what they're trying to, quote unquote, protect us from, the crazy ideas. I mean, dude, how many ideas did you hear in growing up where you were like, that's just ridiculous?
A ton.
But you had to have, but what it did by you making that determination was it made you be a critical thinker. Our generation is full of critical thinkers, which is why people between 45 and 55, or really 45 and up for the very most part, were anti-vax. Because we were raised to be critical thinkers. These new kids, they're not raised to be critical thinkers, so they're just going to blindly go with, hey, here's the guy they say is smart. Dr. Fauci says get 14 shots, so they do. And that's just the way they've been groomed. I don't want to blame them for being stupid as much as I want to blame them for being groomed, and I blame their parents for allowing them. I blame any parent that allows their kid to not make critical thinking decisions.
Another reminder, thesethwilliamshow.com. If you want to leave comments, and after tonight, you probably won't be able to on YouTube, thesethwilliamshow.com. Thesethwilliamshow.com. You can leave comments there.
Yes.
Just like you do on YouTube or anywhere else.
That's right.
So make sure you go to the website, thesethwilliamshow.com.
Yeah.
You can do the comments there.
In case you guys haven't figured it out, we are gearing up for YouTube eventually killing the show.
Yes, that is going to happen.
Yeah, because we're not going to cave in. We're never going to cave in to.
But people are crying about social media. People get all upset. Now, this whole thing with the government censoring everything with the big tech companies is one thing. But I saw people getting emotional over the fact that Twitter is now changed to this X.
Right?
I mean, you still go to twitter.com. It's not like the website's any different, but they've changed the logo to X on your app. I think it's still a stupid little bird thing. But
for now, but
for now,
yeah.
that'll change.
I was looking through. Do we call it X now?
Yeah.
I was looking through some X threads this morning, and the people are losing their minds over this stupid X Twitter bird thing.
I know.
I was like, "Are you?" The first time I saw some of this, I was like, "This has to be a joke, right?" Because who cares, But and let's just be real about it here. Nobody's going to call it X. How many people call Facebook Meta?
No, yeah.
No one.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well, it's Facebook. That's if you look on their website, it's all called Meta now.
I mean, now, like I said, it hasn't really changed anything on my app on my phone yet.
Mm-mm.
But when I go to the website on like my computer, there's the big X. When I open it up, and then there's an X in the top of my screen. But I saw a grown man the other day.
Yeah.
I won't say his name. He's a friend of mine. But a grown man literally getting very upset because he says that Elon Musk has stripped the emotion away from Twitter by taking away the bird. Now, I thought at first he was joking.
Sure.
Then I found out, no. He was for real upset about the fact that the bird was apparently some sort of emotional thing for him. And now that it's gone, there is no emotion left on Twitter. There was no emotion on Twitter for the past 10 years.
Wait a minute. There was one emotion on Twitter. One.
Anger.
Hate.
Hate and anger. That was the only emotion. But now people are sad that the bird is gone. The only thing I don't like about it is that when I see X, I think porn.
Yeah.
Now, and I went looking for pictures. I didn't find anything. And I think it's kind of misleading towards people when you put an X up there to think maybe some sort of porn or something like that.
Yeah, and of course there's always I saw a lot of X videos jokes because X videos is one of the popular porn sites out there.
Right.
So everybody of course is like, "Oh, can't imagine why X videos got 30 times their traffic today."
No, I don't know what X videos is. I've never heard of that.
Really? Dude, X videos is the go-to on porn.
I have no idea what you're talking about, even when you say porn. I don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, side note, do you have any Subway hats left? Asking for a friend. I think those are gone.
They're gearing up for another show.
Yes. I think is that show starting? I don't know. I
don't know. I've not heard. I haven't heard.
Oh my God. Staples actually sells staples.
She must have heard there were Subway hats there too.
That will not be played on the that new show.
You don't think?
Ever happens?
I hope that show does show up. Good competition is always good.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our location. So
good.
Thunderstorms are on the way. They said they could get severe in the next couple of hours. So I'd be heads up. Another one. In case you missed it earlier in the show, we did play video and audio from the methane summit yesterday with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala and Biden did like a side-by-side speech there.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like dueling speeches from those two. Lovely.
Ironically, they were both on the same message.
Yes. Yes. It is shocking how Biden yesterday decided that he's going to cure cancer and get the methane summit underway. I mean, it's great. And Hillary decided that it was MAGA Republicans that have caused the heat problem.
Yeah, what is that? Is that because we're not buying into the Green New Deal? Is that the message here?
I saw this morning. Oh my God, the temperatures in the ocean have risen to the point of a hot tub.
No, they
We're freaking out on a one particular left-leaning channel, and then I look at the actual stats, and it's really not as crazy as they say it is.
Yeah, it's risen a half a degree since what? April?
It's summertime, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Well, my question
this
is,
summer maybe a little bit hotter. There's been other hot summers as well. Back when they started recording temperatures, there were temperatures this hot.
Well, Why isn't Ohio getting hit by this climate change? We haven't had a 90-degree day yet, have we?
No, not that I've seen. And then I did hear a funny thing the other day. John Kerry was under attack again. I guess not attack, that's a bad word, but under questioning about his entire theory of climate change. And he said parts per CO2, blah, 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 blah. They were all technical science stuff. And he goes, yeah, it hasn't happened for 800,000 years. And the guy goes, well, what about before that? Well, yeah, it was much worse. Well, the guy says, well, humans weren't around, and SUVs weren't around, and factories weren't around. And he goes, well, there was a lot of geological events happening at those. Geological events haven't stopped. They continue. The Earth continues.
Yeah.
It continues to cycle forward as it has for millions of years, if that's what you believe. And it's what it is. This is the way the Earth works.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, look. If all of a sudden we got these giant waves or whatever, we'll deal with that too. Remember the movie Day After Tomorrow when they knew the thing was coming and nothing was told, and then like everything else, it just didn't become as bad as they thought it was going to be.
Yes,
that's what it is. And if we're wrong, then we're wrong. Then we get wiped out. I mean, thinking about it from both ends of the picture, I understand that, if you want to live a pathetic life and be taxed to death, then you go for climate change. I get all that. But let's go to the other side. Let's just say that it's going to end the Earth. All right. Which one of us thought we were going to live forever?
Something eventually will end the Earth.
Yeah.
One way or the other, it's going to end.
That's what I mean. And the whole logic of, well, what about the kids and what... Anytime any civilization ends, when the dinosaurs ended, all their kids were wiped out too.
Back in 1998, I think we had 90 degrees and higher. We've had 90 degrees and higher every single year since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened, except maybe during that little ice age thing that happened. Climate change.
I would imagine
climate has changed.
Wouldn't you imagine that even during the ice age, there was some place on this planet that was warm?
Yeah, and I know certain people that I know are turning off this channel.
You guys suck!
When I say this, but I hate to tell people, but they started out with this whole climate change bullshit with global warming. Then when they figured out that the global warming thing really wasn't going to go their way, they decided we're going to change it to climate change.
Yeah.
Yes, climate changes. Climate's changing as we speak. An hour ago, it was sunny outside, and now it's going to storm.
Right.
Climate changes all the time.
Right? So crazy. So.
Everything about George Carlin. Have we heard anything from our guests?
I just texted the publicist and was like, what the F? So I'm waiting to hear back. I have not heard back yet, but I don't know, man. I just look at the whole climate change thing and I just am like, I understand the need to do certain things, but I think we, citizens of the United States, have done those things, haven't we? We've reduced our emissions. Everybody now is like, it's normal to do recycling bins. It's normal to put your recyclables into a bin so that it goes to a recycling plant. We've made our cars so that they take the corn-fed car stuff. What is that? Ethanol?
Yeah.
The ethanol gas. We've done all of that. The other countries have not done all that. So why is it our problem to get taxed more? We've done our part.
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow because good old Biden, who cured cancer, is going to announce tomorrow all kind of climate stuff.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Biden, did you see his dummy that is his press secretary's statement about? And I think she was trying to say it as a positive, but she said about how we're all feeling Bidenomics now. We're starting to feel Bidenomics.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm not feeling it.
Well, I think we're all feeling it. We're all broke.
Yeah, the wrong way.
Yeah, we're all broke. But she said in some press meeting or the Daily, I'd imagine that Americans are finally starting to feel Bidenomics. I was like, yeah, it sucks.
She's as stupid as they come, because I'm telling you, she doesn't answer anything. Literally nothing. They ask her questions every day. They asked her questions today about the plea deal for Hunter Biden falling through. You have to direct those questions to another department. Well, what about Biden with this? You have to direct that question to somebody else. Well, he said that he never had business dealings, or never heard of any business dealings with Hunter Biden and other countries. And then they changed it to, well, he hasn't been part of any business dealings with Hunter Biden and other countries. And they go, well, why is that language changed? Well, you have to ask somebody else that question. Answer a damn question. You're there not to just be whoever you are. You're there to answer questions.
Yeah, she does not answer anything.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break anyway.
Okay.
Then we'll
That's
try
fine.
to see if Johnny's pool coming up or not. If not, we'll move on, and it is what it is. So hang on.
It is time to save America and stop funding woke corporations. Shop with merchants that share your values today. Get all the great products you buy online anyway from Mammoth Nation. Visit the online store today at us.cmspn.com and save money while helping to fend off enemies of our way of life. We can't expect change until we make changes ourselves. Shop Mammoth Nation today.
Are you looking for a way to support the Seth Williams Show? Get your Seth Williams Show merchandise today. From coffee mugs to clothing and everything in between, our high-quality merch is the perfect way for you to not only support the show, but show everyone what is the greatest show going today. Just go to shop.thesethwilliamsshow.com now, shop around, and buy some great merchandise from the Seth Williams Show. Shop today.
Hey, it's Seth. You ever wanted a message recorded by a really, really famous person? A happy birthday to your kid. Congratulations, you finally graduated to that niece or nephew or brother or sister. Or a happy anniversary to your lovely wife or husband. Well, today's not your day, because we're not famous. You can have myself or Chris Aiken record you a message of your choice, and it's only going to cost you $10. Not like those $250, $300, $400, $500 celebrities. You're going to get us recording you something hopefully entertaining and fun that you can keep forever. You can listen to it all day long if you'd like. A personalized message just for you. All you got to do is download the Cameo app or go to cameo.com, cameo.com. Look up Seth Williams or Chris Aiken, and we will record you a message. Who needs Brad Pitt when you have a face like this? Go to cameo.com today.
There's no place like home, and whether it's furniture, artwork, home accessories, appliances, or that one-of-a-kind collectible, Yellow Brick Road Online Auctions allows you to find everything you need from the comfort of your own home. The owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions has been conducting online estate auctions for over 8 years by providing homeowners with a stress-free process to liquidate all items that have accumulated over the years.
I'm Melissa Mendici, owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions. Log on today to find your heart's desire.